Yeah, okay, we're rolling again. Okay. Prabhu, please tell us your pastime of Prabhupada with the flowers.
Well, it's whenever I'd see Prabhupada, I would offer him a flower in the mornings or afternoon. I would have a flower and I'd offer it to him. Even before Guru Puja, I would offer him a flower personally. And if I met him on walks, or if he was coming out to go on a walk, I would meet him and I'd offer him a flower. I'd kneel down and I'd offer him a flower. Or if he's on his way to the temple room, I'd be in the corridor and I would kneel down and offer him a flower. One time I collected a lot of lilies from the monk's pond of Glastonbury. And one morning I offered him this nice lily. I was kneeling down as he was coming down to go in to see the deities at the manor. And he took it from me, thank you very much. And then he walked into the deity room, which was the theatre room at the time, because the deity room was being rebuilt at the manor. And he paid his obeisances and he offered the flower to the deities. He gave the flower, I gave him to the deities. And that was a lily from Glastonbury Monk's Pond of the Abbey, Glastonbury Abbey.
Far out.
So there's a little bit of Glastonbury linked there. And one time I was at Bombay and I was living on the lifeguards platform because it was difficult staying at the ashram because of the mosquitoes at night. I was getting bitten alive.
Telling you.
And I was living with malaria as it was, so I didn't want to get more agitated. So Prabhupada used to come out and walk the beach in the mornings. And one morning I was looking for some flowers, and I was actually looking for some frangipani, but there wasn't any about, only in private gardens. But on one wall, one old fence, there was some bindweed, or Indian type of bindweed, similar to the English, but it was pink and a little smaller, which is like a little trumpet flower.
Yeah.
And so I gathered some of these and I made a posé, which is like a whole ball of them. And I tied them all together into like a natural handle, wrapped them round with grasses and things, and I tied it up. And then I went down to the beach in front of where the group was coming to. So I met up with Prabhupada's group. Prabhupada saw me, I was kneeling, so I knelt, and Prabhupada approached towards me, and he stopped and he took the flowers from me, smelt them, and said, thank you very much. And then he stopped and said, a flower without fragrance is like a man without education.
Wow. Say that again. Say that again.
A flower without fragrance is like a man without education.
Far out. Thank
And
you.
so everybody went, oh, yes, right. Thank you, Guruji, And then he carried on walking, and I just fell in with the crowd walking along nearby him. And we carried on walking for the morning walk, and then back to the ashram, to Bombay. There was no temple in those days. It was even before the foundations of the actual temple that exists there now were even laid down. And so the next morning, I still on the beach, and I went back to the same place to see if there was any more of these bindweeds, because they looked pretty. And so there was enough to make another whole posé. So I picked a lot and I put them together, made this whole bunch of them.
Right.
And then in my pocket I got out a little jar of sandalwood oil, which I used for my deity worship.
Oh yeah.
So I sprinkled sandalwood oil, pure sandalwood oil, into the hearts of some of these flowers, and then on the actual handle of them. So then I went further down the beach, and I met Prabhupada, who was walking along with his retinue of about 30 people. And I knelt, and I held out this posé, and Prabhupada smiled at me and took it and said, thank you very much. And then he started walking on.
Right.
And he didn't smell them or anything like this, he just carried on walking, and they were swinging along by his side.
Jai.
And I went nearby his side there.
Beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you.
At the front, quite close to Prabhupada. And as he's walking along there, and he looks at me, And then he's looking at the flower, and then he's looking over at me again, he's looking down at the flower, and then he picks up the posy and he puts it to his nose and he smells it. Then he looks at me and smiles. And I said, "Oh, Prabhupada," I said, I've educated them.
Hare Krishna.
Because he could smell this sandalwood oil, which is quite very pungent and strong one. There's good
Genius.
qualities. And he laughed. He very much appreciated the joke.
That's really funny, Prabhu. And they're still doing that to this day. We, in our ISKCON Mandirs, we're sometimes putting some fragrances on the back of the hand of the devotees with some cotton bud. And they are smelling the fragrance of the Lord. So in this way we are educating them what is the smell of the spiritual world.
Yes, that's it.
Prabhu, you're a genius. You're a genius. It reminds me of Adidas. You know who is Adidas?
A maker of shoes.
Balaram.
You're not talking about Adidas, the shoemaker for sports.
Absolutely not. I mean,
That's Adidas, isn't it?
Adidas, the original servant, Ananta
Yes.
Shesh,
Yes.
who we heard singing before through you.
You didn't appreciate my joke just then.
Which joke?
Adidas joke.
Yes, I'm also saying one joke. Bouncing back, forwards.
Yeah.
It's a good joke, Prabhu. You're a genius.
No, I'm a fool.
That's my position. That's my position.
No, I'm Adi Fool.
No.
I'm Adi Fool. I'm Adi Fool.
Well, we don't want to have an argument over who's the most foolish, but I win.
Adi Fool. So now check to see if that has been recorded, and then stop that one and see if that's been captured.
Okay, Prabhu. Say Goranga for the folks at home. Hare Krishna.
Goranga, Goranga, Goranga! Jai Prabhupada! Hari Hari Bolo!